Hey guys, it's Emma. Today I'm going to talk about college with Tourette syndrome, and first I'm going to start with my experiences and then go into like disability services and how you can help yourself. So first of all, people were a lot more receptive to me telling them that I have Tourette syndrome in college than in like elementary through high school. They just had better responses overall. People in my classes would react to my tics from time to time, but it was usually just the occasional stare or the occasional question. I say occasional stare, but there was a decent amount of stares. If they actually did ask me what I was doing or if I could stop, I just explained Tourette syndrome to them if, I was in a situation where I could do that, because it's just easier to tell the truth and it spreads awareness about Tourette's. Someone asked me something about what I would do if I got loud during my class with like vocal tics. I had this hack where I would do a lot of my vocal tics while the professor was talking, and usually they talked quite loud, so I could squeak or cough and kind of get away with it. This was okay for me because my vocal tics are not usually that loud. But if they did get loud, I would just leave the classroom and go for a little walk. So tic attacks are a thing. I would get them in the dorms a lot at night, and I would go on walks outside, which I do not recommend. Even if your campus seems super safe, just walk around your dorm or put in headphones and listen to music or just do whatever else calms you down. Rather than going outside at 3 a.m. and walking around in the dark. It's dangerous, folks. If you do have a roommate, I recommend disclosing your Tourette syndrome pretty early on so you can avoid moments of, will you stop that? Or that's so annoying. But if your roommate becomes like hostile towards you or just like really not nice about the whole situation, just request a room change. Which I realize you don't always get the room change, but I've seen a lot of people get room changes for a lot less than hostility over a disability. If you're worried about studying in the library, well, let me tell you about my experience. Sometimes while studying on the quiet floor, my vocal tics were a lot quieter than people talking on the quiet floor. I got a lot of stares in the library over the years. Like, that was the main place where I got a lot of stares. But I dealt with that by either like continuing to work and texting a pal about like being a one-man show or staring back. People don't like it when you stare back at them. Do it. Now moving on to how to help yourself with accommodations and such. My university had an office called ODS, which stands for Office of Disability Services. Many universities have offices like this. How to get started? I had to get my psychiatrist to send in something telling the office my diagnoses. Is that how you say that? Diagnoses? Diagnosis? Something. And then I had a meeting with the office personally and worked out what I needed for my education. My disability office actually had a service where you could send your needs to your professors, like your accommodations to your professors, without ever really having to talk to them about it if you're like uncomfortable with talking about what you need. But just so you know, even with that, you may have to be on top of things because not every professor will remember what you personally need. So the accommodations that I recommend for Tourette syndrome: more time on tests. Sometimes the tick day can be a bit of a hard tick day, and that's not a great tick day. And that also makes for not a great test day, and you may need extra time on your tests. Also, no bubble sheet. This helped me out a lot when my hand and arm tics were bothering me. I didn't have to bubble into those intricate little circles, and yeah, that was just really helpful. Separate testing location. I didn't utilize this one that much, but I think this is good for people with Tourette syndrome who are worried about their tics disrupting others, or even just like getting worse during like a quiet situation like a test and disrupting themselves. Also, the ability to walk out of class. This is just something that you can usually do anyway in a university setting. When I was in high school, I had to get it put on my 504 that I could walk out of class, but in college, usually you can just do it, but I talked to that office about if that's a thing that you need to get put onto your education plan, because walking out of class can be very, very handy for when tics get bad. So yeah, I recommend that if you're applying to universities, look into if they have something like an Office of Disability Services. It's really helpful, and those accommodations just make it so that you can study like anyone else. If you're stressed about college, I understand that, but you will make friends, you will study hard, even if you don't want to.
Or you'll fail.
And you'll have great and life-changing experiences, and it's just gonna be a wild ride. Yeah. Oh my god. So yeah, if you have any more questions about my college experiences or what to do about college, just comment them below and I will answer them because I do that most of the time. Okay, thank you for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe. Haha. Thanks, Twitches. Bye.